If you know any album by Jethro Tull, it's their fourth studio album, 1971's Aqualung. While Led Zeppelin recorded their own fourth studio album in a converted chapel, Ian Anderson and the boys were next door in a quote, horrible, cold, echoey space that led Anderson to believe this project was doomed to fail. The unpleasant recording studio may have been the perfect thematic fit for the album, which dealt with religion and the outcasts of society. Quote, I had feelings of guilt about the homeless, as well as fear and insecurity with people like that who seem a little scary. There are these human types that would be thought to be undesirable and unpleasant, but are all God's creations one way or another. And there must be within these people some very essential humanity, even some goodness, some good side to their character or personality, which was laudable, said Anderson. Of course, the most noted character and song from the album is Aqualung himself, a lecherous, unhoused man who watches kids while they play. The titular character also makes an appearance in the second track, which was enough evidence for Americans to believe the entire album was connected, a concept album. Quote, I always said at the time that this is not a concept album. This is just an album of varied songs of varied instrumentation and intensity, in which 3 or 4 are the kind of keynote pieces for the album, but it doesn't make it a concept album, said Anderson. It's hard to say what's a bigger misinterpretation of Jethro Tull's work, the labeling of this album as a concept album, or the Recording Academy awarding the band with a Grammy for Best Hard Rock / Heavy Metal Album in 1989. It may be absurd to classify Jethro Tull as heavy metal, and even a stretch to call them hard rock, but there is some crossover between the world of flute prog rock and hard-hitting heavy metal, and that crossover is in 1983 when Iron Maiden covered Jethro Tull's hit song about a child prostitute. That's right, we're talking Jethro Tull's Cross-Eyed Mary on Cover Me.
Cross-eyed Mary, I goes jumping in again. She signs no contract, but she always plays the game. She dives in Hansford Village on
That's right, it's Cover Me, the only podcast that compares famous songs to their many cover versions to find out which one would steal candy from a laughing baby's mouth. I'm your host, as always, The Snake, joined by my poor man's co-host,
Alex Mildenberger.
Alex Mildenberger. How you doing?
Doing all right. I'm not stealing candy from a baby.
Yeah, you're stealing the candy from the laughing babe's mouth?
Yeah, I mean, it's the baby's fault for laughing, really.
I say you don't laugh so fucking
They got to
loud.
protect that candy.
Yeah, you gotta not let other people know that you have candy.
Yeah, the baby's parents clearly need to teach it some things.
Yeah.
I've got a baby shower to go to later today, so I mean, the baby's not born yet, but, we got to really make sure to teach that particular baby
Yeah,
not
just
to laugh.
just go up to the pregnant woman's belly and whisper that in.
Whisper, yeah, just start whispering.
Just
See
whispering in life lessons. I'm pretty sure that's a standard at baby showers.
Yeah.
And then also eating food out of diapers. I think those are the two.
Eating food out of diapers? Is that...
Isn't it at baby showers where they do the like melted chocolate and diaper game and you have to guess what chocolate is in the diaper? Maybe you don't eat the food afterwards.
Honestly, I've not heard of that particular trend, but its existence, I wouldn't say surprises me.
Okay. Well, maybe baby showers have changed since I last heard about them.
I've
Still never been to one, so
This is the first for me, so...
Congratulations, Alex, on being invited to a baby shower.
Uh,
Monumental.
Thank you. I do my best.
That's incredible, Alex. Alex, you're going to a baby shower here where we've got heavy showers, aka rain.
Oh, yeah? Real
That's
rain?
coming down.
We
I
did
don't
have
know.
heavy rain. And then
Yeah,
it stopped.
we also heavy rain the game. No, heavy rain, just the concept.
Yeah.
And buddy, it's FIFA. I don't know how these soccer men are going to score some goals with all this dang rain.
Is FIFA happening over there?
It's FIFA over here,
Is
dude.
FIFA on the coast?
It's FIFA time in the best coast, as they call it.
I do call it that.
And
I didn't know that. I know I saw something earlier this week because we had like 3 or 4 days of rain, and it was like pretty heavy rain. And then people were celebrating afterwards because the sun was out again. And then the joke after that was like, only in Calgary, a very sunny city, is 3 days of rain considered like tragic and horrendous. Apparently it's rainier in other places.
Yes, who would have guessed? Rainier than old Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah.
But
A notably sunny
rain,
place.
gloom, soccer. The one thing that connects them all, Alex, is Jethro Tull.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Aqua. There's Aqua in that lung.
There's Aqua, so we got
Uh,
Rain.
yeah. They talk about football, I'm sure, but
Yeah, footy. There's some UK boys.
yeah. It doesn't come up in this song, but they do talk about kicks and little
Yeah, you know what?
boys.
At the playground.
Yeah, at the playground. So
There's your footy.
yeah, there you go.
It all checks out. Alex, you're the biggest Jethro Tull fan I know, which is not a high bar to cross.
Yeah. Only.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a Jethro Tull fan. I'm like, I know Aqualung, the album. That's it. I'm like, oh,
Right.
I like it. Oh, I know the Christmas album too.
Yeah, but that's also my fault.
Yeah, that is your fault. But good on you.
Yes, I quite like Jethro Tull. I mean, I'll admit I don't know the whole discography or anything. I don't think it's. I mean, another artist we talk about a lot, David Bowie. We talk about like the whole discography and like the nuances and stuff sometimes because that's fun, and we know it relatively well or most of it. But Jethro Tull, I've definitely not dug into on that level. You know, maybe one day, but probably not. You know, can hit the highlights. They have ups and downs for sure. I'm not going to pretend they're David Bowie, but this is really their first like really like great breakout album. Though I like some of their earlier stuff as well. Nothing
yeah.
really hits this level, but I think that description of like, oh, it's this echoey, recorded in this like echoey, kind of harsh and unpleasant environment, did kind of inform. I mean, obviously the sound of the album, but also it like really fits the songs on it too, because as much as there are nice sounding ones, it's songs like this, and we talked about Locomotive Breath a while ago, and obviously like Aqualung, the title track, that do have this like ugliness to them, and it really seems to help them get out this like commentary, kind of, or at least observations on like society, and kind of like capture that ugliness a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's like Ian Anderson himself takes on a very like his voice has a very strange quality to it, and
Mm-hmm.
he comes off as like because there's a lot of like accusations in this album, and like because like on My God and things like that,
Oh, right.
and even Locomotive Breath, where it's like you guys have fucked this, and
Yeah.
it's the harshness of the accusations is perhaps you know aided by the recording environment where everybody was a little miserable. The sounds are coming off harsher than we would like and a bit echoey. There is some sort of like scary preacher vibe to this album.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, especially with like some of the more specifically religious parts of it. I always say that like my idea of Aqualung is that it's like a young man. Well, I mean, as much as it's not like a concept album per se, but like the topics on the album are this young man. You know, it's mostly written by Ian Anderson at the time. He was in his early 20s.
Yeah.
Kind of coming to terms with the fact that he's like inheriting the earth, or you know, society, right? Because he is theoretically like the more privileged, you know, member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
he,
you know,
because the first two songs are about like unhoused people and people doing like horrendous things for money. And then you get the two big topics are like why is there suffering? Why is Aqualung and Cross-Eyed Mary? Why do these two people exist?
yeah.
And then like what's the deal with God and overpopulation are the other
Yeah.
songs.
Exactly. So yeah, it does start kind of smaller. Yeah, like these are people, like specific smaller stories, and then broaden a bit. And of course, there's other things that you like. If you were looking at it as a concept album, would just be like filler, basically. But I wouldn't necessarily think of it that way because it's not really a concept album. Though I can kind of see why people might think that, because it does have it's a concept album in like the stick sense of like the songs have common themes, you know?
Yeah.
And this is just because like they were mostly written by one guy who was thinking about some stuff, you know?
Yeah. And this is at a very specific time in his life. So
Yeah.
it's like, is it a concept album or is it just stuff from the same time period?
Exactly. And then, I mean, yeah, it's Aqualung. I mean, it's a big deal that you were talking about Jethro Tull getting the like what is it, best hard rock / heavy metal performance or vocal
Yes, in 1989 for their
Grammy.
album Crest of a Knave.
Yeah, Crest of, I think it's Crest of a Knave.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. See, I've always called it Crest of the Knave, and I think I just this week realized that was wrong. So I just wanted to highlight that, I guess.
Highlight that for yourself, for sure.
Yeah, but anyway, the real probably reason that ended up happening was just because, and it happens every once in a while, is like a Grammy gets awarded just because like a different thing that a band didn't get awarded. So it's like, well, they deserve a Grammy, maybe not for this, but like they had the best hard rock / metal performance of, you know, whatever year, or it was good enough and that it's like legendary now. And that's kind of the status of Aqualung. As much as there are other Jethro Tull albums that reach some pretty high highs and like in terms of their discography are very well regarded, nothing broke out. Nothing is like in the classic rock conversation in the way Aqualung is. And for good reason. It's a real classic. I mean, when I was thinking of it today, I don't know why. I mean, I kept comparing it to David Bowie. You know, it's kind of gone the way of Ziggy Stardust for me in the sense of like I really like it, but I've almost like overexposed myself to it, so I don't actually listen to it that much anymore.
Yeah, I don't listen to it except when I really need to, you know?
Yeah.
I can feel that. I wonder if they awarded them that because 18 years prior they had a pretty good album.
Not specifically, but it's just because like they were a group that had reached that level kind of thing and hadn't been awarded. So like you kind of have the opportunity to tip your hat to them, even if, I mean, I know a couple songs off of Crest of a Knave and it's pretty solid, you know? I don't know how it compares to the Metallica album. I'll admit I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, so that was the things that was a brand new category that year. Hard rock / heavy metal hadn't been awarded before, and Metallica had just broken out as a major act.
Yeah, they were
and
huge.
other ones nominated in that category were like Iggy Pop, and like other actual hard rock names. And so the theory around it from people at the event seems to be just that the Academy is out of touch old guys.
Right.
And kind of just voted for a name they had heard. So still you're right in that sense.
Right, it's kind of indirect.
Like, hey.
It's not, they're thinking like, oh, they deserve something, but they're like, oh, Jethro Tull, I know that. Like,
yeah. And even like the record label that Tull was under was like, we're not buying you tickets to the fucking show.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, message is clear. We're not going to win this award. Like,
right.
Fair enough.
If I remember, like maybe only Ian Anderson was there or something. Cause like no,
not even.
He didn't even
go.
He
got a phone call.
Oh, okay.
They're like, hey, you won. He's like, right on.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
We won an American Music Award. I'm just going to go back to like owning fisheries in Scotland or whatever.
Yeah, being just the most British guy. The thing is, I see Aqualung on the cover, and I know that isn't Ian Anderson, but
it's like kind of based on him though. Like it kind of looks like how he looked then, right?
Yeah.
Like the hair is very similar.
He's got the beard and shit.
Yeah. So it's not, but yeah, he definitely has a really like rough look. And it's funny seeing him talk now. I mean, nowadays he's, oh my gosh, like in his 80s, I think. And like sounds different, but he's like got this like kind of generally pleasant demeanor.
Oh yeah.
That like seems very different from like the really like hairy guy, but he's always kind of been like that. But it's funny how like not rough and gruff he is.
Yeah, even like listening to the quotes I've seen from this week, he's very talkative.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of big words in his pocket. He seems very like learned Englishman.
Yeah, at least, yeah, to some degree.
To some degree. But Alex, Cross-Eyed Mary, one of the best tracks on this album, or just another track?
Or just another track. I mean, it's one of the like highlights for sure. I mean, it's not one of the ones I go back to, but like that's just maybe my own preferences. I tend to go back to maybe some of the softer songs. Those are the ones I keep returning to. Is a lot of the like more acoustic Jethro Tull.
Yeah, Wondering Aloud is probably the best song on this album.
Wondering Aloud is a good one. There's like 7-minute long version of it.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, on the on one of the special editions. Quite an amusing thing. Quite different. Like adds a lot to the story. Though I think it's a good thing they cut it down and made it like an interstitial thing. But it's so wild that like one of the shorter songs like used to be over 7 minutes.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah, but that one and like Mother Goose and like Up to Me, which are kind of the sillier songs. But I'm not going to skip it on a full listen through or anything. It's still a really good song. And what I always remember about it is my dad had the CD. I think he got the CD secondhand, from Urban Sound Exchange way back. And I remember him telling me like, this is flute rock. So I put it on and I listened to Aqualung and I was like, there's no flute in this. But then this song comes on because it's the second song,
track,
and it does have flute. So that this is like when the flute comes in. And even though this is their fourth album, this is kind of when I start. Like this feels like the introduction to the flute in Jethro Tull to me. Like this is where it gets revealed. Even though there is history there.
For sure, because like for myself, I knew Aqualung from Rock Band.
Right.
And then I think you lent me this CD, and I think I was smoking a lot of weed at the time because I remember being high as shit when this song came on, and just like, I was like, holy fuck!
It is quite different from what you might expect, especially considering that. I guess if I could take another aside. We talk about the harshness and unpleasantness of this album, or like the harshness of the sounds, I should say, not necessarily unpleasant, but like that really contrasts with the flute, because the flute is much softer and has that like this resonance and like beauty to it that really contrasts with that. So I guess their sound and like tone really complement each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah, there is something magical about the flute, especially on this intro here.
Yeah.
And then you get all these other instruments that start kind of marching in with it. We'll talk about the instrumentation a bit more detailed later. But yeah, the introduction on this song has hooked me for years.
Yeah, it's very cool.
To the point that I almost don't even remember the rest of the song. Like this was a week looking at the lyrics. I was like, oh yeah, I recognize some of these words.
I know. And like I've known the story of this song and I've heard this song described so much.
Yes.
And sometimes just think like, oh, where did they get that from? But now I'm actually reading the lyrics and I'm like, oh, okay, no, that makes sense. I just didn't know the words because they're like words I don't know, like leching and things
and
like
words that I don't know the actual meaning of, like jackknife barber. I had to learn this week. I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I get it now, but wouldn't have without looking it up for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about these lyrics for the people at home. It begins like this. Who would be a poor man, a beggar man, a thief, if he had a rich man in his hand? And who would steal the candy from a laughing baby's mouth if he could take it from the money man?
Yeah, it's a fun intro because we're not even really, like, we're talking about the character and it's going to make sense later, right? But this is very much like, why would you take from other people who are like poor if you could take from someone who is wealthy, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like simple, but said in a fun way. Like, why would you be any of these like low class like things if you could just take it from someone who like kind of deserves it? So, I mean, we talk about Robin Hood later specifically, but this is kind of our introduction to that character.
Yeah, and we have like nursery rhyme, I guess, like references here in the start, according to Genius. The counting rhyme: tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor, rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief.
Right, we kind of get those characters. I think it's something that like gets referenced. Like there's that movie Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy, that like it gets referenced every once in a while. But I never knew this nursery rhyme growing up.
Yeah, it never made it over to Canada, as far as I know.
Yeah,
but
it's
apparently an English classic. And then even the idea of stealing candy from a baby's mouth, we're dealing in the realm of like classic lines.
Right, but like I mean, I think it's a laughing baby because. Well, I guess you wouldn't steal it from the laughing baby, but the baby's, like we referenced earlier, got its mouth open, so it's even easier to take the candy from it. So, like, why would you do it easily to someone who doesn't deserve it, kind of thing? But like, when you could take it from someone who does, potentially.
Why do you want a baby's half-eaten candy?
Yeah, why do you want saliva candy?
Babies are gross, man. Yeah. You want that?
Not me.
But yeah, who would choose to be poor or to steal from other poor people? Or innocence if you could take it directly from rich people.
Yeah. And I mean, we're learning that that might not be the most true statement of, but you know, this was the early '70s. Maybe it wasn't as obvious.
Yeah, maybe. But listen, we hit the chorus. Cross-eyed Mary goes jumping in again. She signs no contract, but she always plays the game. She dines in Hampstead Village on expense-accounted gruel, and the jackknife barber drops her off at school.
Drops her off at
Hey.
school. Yeah, so I never originally got the idea that Mary is specifically like a sex worker when I first listened to it, but I was also young enough and maybe it didn't make sense. But I mean, basically,
When you come off of Aqualung and this one's called Cross-eyed Mary, you're like, okay, it's some other homeless freak.
Right. That is what it sounds like. But yeah, I mean, we're just also now telling more of the story. We've got this character who, as we know, is, like I said, sex worker and seems to largely, her client seems to be wealthier people. So, and she gets things out of it, you know, food.
Yeah,
and
expense
stuff.
accounted gruel.
Yeah. Which of course still makes it seem not that great. Like we're still talking about gruel here, right?
I think she is still a child, so there is this
Yeah.
idea where she is getting something. Like it's maybe not as much as she could be getting if she were not a child. You know?
Right. And had like actually more power kind of
Mhm.
thing. And of course Hampstead Village is a wealthier area.
Yeah.
We're going to reference a few areas in this and they're all wealthier ones.
Mhm.
Had to look that up because I don't know London areas.
Yeah, it's all Greek to me, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, she always plays the game. She signs no contract. She's doing sex work.
Yeah. Yeah. Where this isn't legal.
It's not legal. It's not a marriage. It's not a legal job
Right.
agreement.
It's all
She's playing the game, baby.
She's playing the game. Yeah, it's kind of like presented as she's like fleecing these guys. Not really. It's there's a lot of
Well,
like
we do compare her to Robin Hood.
we do compare her to Robin Hood, but I guess there's also it's not like she's harming their financial stability in any way, right? I
Yeah.
don't know if the song kind of specifically calls that out. You know, we're narrating here. This isn't from her perspective. So
Mhm.
there is a bit of that disconnect. And the like harshness of it kind of does make it seem like the narrator kind of has these notions of like, she's taking advantage of these guys when realistically that's not like, I think the way it says it maybe makes it clear that that's not what's happening. I mean, especially the next line, right?
Yeah.
The jackknife barber drops her off at school. I guess the idea is the barber is the one who would be performing these like back alley abortions, basically.
Yes. So jackknife barber is a name for like a back alley abortionist.
Yeah.
And so she's going out there. She's having unprotected sex for gruel and presumably money as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting an abortion before she goes to school again.
Yeah. And like knows this guy well enough that like he walks her to school or drives her to school.
Have a great day.
Yeah, exactly. And of course is young enough to be going to school. Which we really drive home in the second verse, I think.
Yeah,
Or
it's sort of a
talk about
twist
it.
in the chorus, and then it's like, hang on, what did you say?
Yeah.
And we come to verse 2. Laughing in the playground, gets no kicks from little boys, would rather make it with a leching gray, or maybe her attention is drawn by Aqualung, who watches through the railings as they play.
Yeah, this is the part where now I'm like questioning how much is like kind of either sarcasm or like the narrator character just being kind of lecherous as well, you know? Like because we're talking the way we present Mary is like, well, she's doing it because like she's not satisfied with like boys her age kind of thing, which is a very like kind of groomer thing to say, you know, like well,
No,
girls
she likes
just
it.
mature earlier, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know how intentional it was, you know, to be like, she's just kind of like she'd rather be with these like old lecherous men, but it is presenting them as like shitty. So yeah, again, I don't know exactly how much of it was intentional, but it does kind of seem like it is trying to paint her as like downtrodden and like a victim of circumstance, but the way it says it does not sound very sympathetic.
Yeah, I think, of course, there is like a British era sarcasm. We get it on the second chorus, too. Where he talks about how she's a poor man's rich girl.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of ideas of like she's doing this and it feels like this, but it's maybe more like this. Like it feels like she's
Mm-hmm.
Robin Hood, but in actuality, it's like she's getting gruel. She's
Yeah.
like she's being taken. Like even having Aqualung here watching her and being like, well, maybe she likes that. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
it's crazy.
Right. And Aqualung obviously is, a pedophile.
Yes.
Who's or at least, really creepy guy who stares at young children on the playground.
Yeah. Very normal behavior for a pedophile.
Yeah.
Yeah, so does she actually like this, or is this a narrator having fun? We can't say for sure. We're
Yeah.
not the narrator, but nonetheless we've been painted of her situation, which is to say she's having sex with older dudes,
Yeah.
and sometimes Aqualung is either watching her play, like at the playground right now, or is potentially watching her bone down on dudes.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you kind of get that double meaning there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
And then she, I guess, sees him in that context. Maybe her attention is drawn by Aqualung.
That's true. She seems to, maybe she's seeing him. Maybe.
Yeah.
And of course, that's our Aqualung reference right there. That's like the one time that this album, a song in this album references another song.
Another song.
On
There you
this
go,
album.
Aqualung.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, even bringing in, like, oh, maybe she likes Aqualung, the unhoused man. It's like, wait a second.
Like, oh.
I thought she was trying to get money from this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I do think that we have this, like, narrator who's, like, a bad guy in this. And
He is, he's maybe having a laugh at Cross-Eyed Mary's expense.
Yeah, does seem to be the case.
But Cross-Eyed Mary finds it hard to get along. She's a poor man's rich girl, and she'll do it for a song. She's a rich man's stealer, but her favor's good and strong. She's the Robin Hood of Highgate. Helps the poor man get along. Hey.
Flute solo. Yeah. Yeah, kind of more of the, you already referenced the Robin Hood, and kind of like we're now painting Mary as this like Robin Hood character who's like taking advantage of these rich men, but like we know that they are still fine, right? Like
They're still rich.
Ultimately they're the ones taking advantage of her situation. But yeah, like finds it hard to get along is a line that he says explicitly. And like she'll do it for a song is another thing you kind of referenced before. Like she could be getting more out of this.
Yeah, she's doing it for cheap. She's a poor man's rich girl.
Yeah.
So like she's like a poor man would look at her and be like, damn, she must be rich. But what she's doing for very cheap.
Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly that helps the poor man get along.
I wonder if
line.
she's also fucking, because we also had that line about like, oh, maybe she's looking at Aqualung. Like,
oh,
is she also now just fucking poor dudes too?
Yeah, I mean she's apparently affordable.
Yeah,
services are affordable.
So one way to look at this is she's Robin Hood of Highgate, so she's out here, she's boning rich dudes and stealing from them.
Right.
Like, maybe she actually does like take possessions from their homes or whatever and distributes that to the community. So because one thing that he said in that quote is like, within these people, some very essential humanity, even some goodness, some good side to their character or personality, which is laudable. So he's maybe like, this is Ian Anderson trying to find the good out of child prostitution.
Yeah, I mean, there is another quote at the bottom of the page there. It's in the Genius page where she goes with dirty old men because she's doing them a favor, giving people what they want because it makes them happy. And then it's a fun kind of song. So I don't know what Ian Anderson's opinion is on this song nowadays. That was from 71.
Right. So she's Robin Hood in that, and then these rich men are then poor in the fact that they can't get along with anyone else.
Yeah. So she's like kind of like she's Robin Hood, but she's providing like companionship for these men who are poor in social interaction.
Yeah, and in like a social connection.
Yeah. So that's maybe how that was like meant, but I do think you can hear it a little differently. You know, and be a little more sympathetic to Mary because it's she's obviously in a bad situation.
Yeah, he's like, Cross-Eyed Mary, she's doing great. Like, it doesn't sound like it. She's doing great.
Her
She fucks old dudes for
expense
cheap.
accounted. Yeah.
She's getting gruel, dude.
Gruel. Yeah,
that is all of
all the lyrics.
All of the lyrics. So that is the song. It is about and just the fact that she's cross-eyed too implies, I don't know, that something is maybe not right with her.
Yeah, or something. Like, yeah, I don't know exactly.
Like, why is she cross-eyed?
Yeah, I don't know I don't know what the implication is of her being cross-eyed.
I don't know either,
Like,
but it certainly
yeah.
portrays her as an outcast physically.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But what does this all sound like? It sounds like flute, dude.
It does. I mean, yeah, we start the very beginning has like almost a little howl sound, which reminded me a little bit of Future Legend, like the beginning of Future Legend.
Oh yeah.
More David Bowie. I'm just making David Bowie connections.
Hey, go for it.
But is that meaningful? I don't know. They both have a grittiness to them, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's grit here, there's grime.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is somebody calling out the name Mary at the start there.
Right. I actually didn't pick up on that fact.
Oh yeah, it's like a high pitch. It's like Ian Anderson doing a high pitched voice.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Seems like kind of
Mary!
what he would do. Right, that flute intro, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of that fast, like, flourish upwards and then slow walk down.
Mm-hmm.
And then it moves into more like percussive. Ba-da, 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 ba-da. And yeah.
Yeah, because at the start it's that flute and it's just like thudding bass root notes. Doom, 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 doom.
We also start to get the piano in here too, right? Piano's like, it's really like banging on those chords. I feel like they're very forceful, but they're like one room over.
Yeah, this is maybe the qualities of that space they're recording. It's apparently the larger of the two studios at Basing Street. The smaller being the converted chapel that Led Zeppelin 4 was recorded in. And so yeah, like you could have that piano very theoretically far away, and maybe just the way the sound carries is weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, apparently there was just a lot of like bad things about that space and like why it was like not good for recording, which is so fascinating. Like how it influenced the sound of the album when they and hearing them talk about it. And also that like Led Zeppelin 4 was just like being recorded next door and they were like, Led Zeppelin's next door. Wish we got that room.
Wish we got the fuck. And it seems like a church would be a great place for Ian Anderson to be.
It does. It does seem appropriate. And like really paints them as like kind of the underdogs of the band. They're like, you get the other room that's not as good.
It's very funny that they get the larger studio and it sucks.
And it sucks, yeah. This is just like bad acoustics.
But yeah, maybe that influences some of the like heavy hits on the keys and maybe just the heavy hits in this album in general.
Yeah.
It's like that's just what you had to do in there.
Yeah. I mean, the piano has that sound to it kind of throughout the album of just like really like heavy banging, but not being that loud. Just you kind of have this feeling of like you're putting so much into it, but like not getting that much out. But I like the sound.
Yeah, great sound.
Yeah, so we move in through that. Ian Anderson likes to do these sort of like trill flourishes on the flute in particular, but also on the guitar when he plays it, though not on this song, where he'll do a lot of those quick like hammer-on pull-off patterns on the guitar. He's an acoustic guitar player.
Yeah.
And then right at the end of this intro, you get that longer like extended flute trill, and then the piano plays the ba 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 ba.
Yeah, with the like kind of marching rhythm. Yes.
Yeah, and that's like a minute in, basically.
Yeah, it's a big intro on this. And you don't know what you're going to get into, and the answer is kind of like blues rock after this.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, they have like a really like blues rock background. Like their first Jethro Tull album is like a blues rock album, you know, and then they move away from that, but it's still like there. But the change in tone is so much, right? Like you get like the flute, like I said, is like so much more pleasant sounding, and then you get into this like really like heavy riff. And it's like got this rounded sound and so crunchy. I think there's organ in there, and that's why it sounds like that. Because at first I was like, that's a unusual like hard rock guitar.
Yeah,
but
you
it's
can
not
hear
just
the
that.
organ tone, especially on the turnaround they do.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. It's a really cool sound ultimately. That doesn't sound like much else in like hard rock.
Yeah. And then you've got Ian Anderson, and it could be a poor man, a beggar man. Like he's doing his weird preacher thing. You've got a possessed organ on the track.
Yeah.
Like this is an evil church.
Yeah. It's got that evil church thing going on. And I mean that Ian Anderson's voice never sounded like this on any other album. Like it's so
Mm-hmm.
unique even in the Jethro Tull discography.
Extended universe,
Yeah, extended
discography.
universe, yeah. So it's such like a fascinating thing, and like it approaches it at other times, but like this is so like unique and singular as far as Jethro Tull goes.
Mm-hmm.
And of course adds to this ability, its ability to just be so harsh and gritty.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, other than that, I mean, the drums have a really cool rhythm going on here, with like really like interesting kind of like backbeat rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't. I feel like listening to the drums on Jethro Tull albums, even when they like have different drummers, is often very interesting because they never feel, maybe not never, but there's definitely several Jethro Tull albums that have a very like non-standard sound to the percussion. I also recommend Heavy Horses for that.
Okay.
If you want some like interesting rhythms.
And this is, I believe, like the bassist and the drummer, I believe, are new hires for this album.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, you
Yeah.
like listen to that. There's like a sparseness to the drums on the verse, but like you said, this like backbeat, like what's emphasized is not like traditional rock.
Mm-hmm. And this is like early enough in the 70s that hard rock had not really been established yet. Like Led Zeppelin 4 is being recorded at this time, you know? Like we're still
Mm-hmm.
working on it.
We're working
Um,
on it.
it's still like proliferating, even if the sound exists in some form, it's not ubiquitous in the
Mm-hmm.
same way as it would be.
And then when we get to the chorus, we really do like some like cowbell ass drums.
Oh, on the chorus.
The
We do,
chorus.
yes. And then that new riff,
Yeah.
little more iconic maybe for the song.
Maybe. And more like connected. Like the
Yes.
verse is like ba-na-na.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah, like and there's the big space. There's this.
Mm-hmm. It definitely definitely gets like more connected, and then even, I mean, to give away the future a little bit, in the next verses we're gonna like fill in that space a bit.
Yeah, of course. We got to intensify.
Yeah.
Even this chorus though intensifies because we like go up.
Yeah, it
On-
seems to key change just like a little bit.
Yeah. So when we hit the Hampstead Village line, Hampstead, and then boom, we're more intense. So there's a growth even in this chorus.
Yeah, but it does seem subtle. Like it's just a little bit up.
Yeah.
And then it just right. The like piano part playing out of this, ba-na-na-na, and then like
a
the
slide out.
Yeah, really great. Love that sound. Good part of the song.
Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah, we rip right into the second verse, and now we've got like bass fills between some of the big riff stuff.
Yeah, bass and piano play.
Doom, 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 doom.
Exactly. That kind of like walk down, you know, they're fills, like you said, but like we're filling the fills are filling the space, presumably what they're meant to do. And of course, this is where we get our Aqualung reference.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that those keys again, like very harsh but very distant.
Mm-hmm. Like Aqualung, watching through the railings as they play.
Watching through the railings as they play.
Good bass. Good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Back into the chorus, or I mean, again, they call it the chorus. I've been saying this a lot lately. The chorus has changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
So is it a chorus? I mean, it starts with Cross-Eyed Mary, so I guess it is.
And yet musically, it's the same.
Yeah, musically it's the same. I'm just saying, like, is it a chorus section? Is it like A section, B section?
Yeah.
In any
No, A
case,
section, B section sounds more like some Jethro Tull shit.
yeah, I guess it does like open up like a chorus does. I wouldn't say it's like a tension release of tension really, but that's just kind of the nature of the song being really harsh and
Yeah, it
yeah.
like, but it smooths out in a way,
Mm-hmm.
like compared to this. So there's like an openness in that, whereas like it just feels more steady.
Mm-hmm.
It feels more like things have opened up. It feels like a chorus to me, is what
Yeah,
I'm
it
saying.
does. I mean, yeah, there were ways I was focusing on that like it doesn't feel like a chorus, but I think enough happens that makes it feel like a chorus that
Hmm.
that I can
Like
call it a
the
chorus.
call of Cross-Eyed Mary at the start makes and the change you go, oh, it's this section again.
Yeah, that's true.
But I agree that lyrically it's different. You can even argue that the way it like ramps up in intensity, that key change is like not very chorus like.
Yeah, usually you get that when you repeat a chorus kind of thing instead of
Hmm.
halfway through. Um, what else happens here? I mean, there's not a lot new that happens. I don't,
No.
the lyrics are different. That's pretty much it.
Next big thing is the flute
The
solo.
flute solo, yeah, the solo's not super long, but you know, comes in. The chorus riff continues, but then we get that flute solo, and then near the end, you sort of get the kind of classic Ian Anderson move where he just like really blows on the flute and hear him go like woo, like
Yeah, he does like he's a big fan of making noises as he
as he
plays.
plays. Yeah,
And I don't play flute, so I don't understand how it works.
yeah,
Because it sounds like he's both saying woo, but like you said, he's just blowing so loudly into the flute that you hear the woo through the flute.
yeah. No, I think that. Yeah, I think that's it more or less.
That's it. Okay.
You
But
know,
there's also some times where he says, I don't know if he's like just catching a breath or something. I think we talked about it on locomotive breath. I could be wrong, but he'll just go like, "Ah!"
yeah.
like he's like pulled away to breathe or
He
something.
does a lot of those like vocalizations. It's like he just like doesn't want to pull away, so he'll just make like a weird voice thing into the flute, and it'll make the flute notes as well as the vocalization.
Incredible. It sounds like when you talk about it, it sounds like the sloppiest playing technique alive, but it
I know.
sounds good on a record.
Yeah, and he's always said like he doesn't have any like formal flute training. So I don't know if other flautists do this ever, but he seems to like to do
Is
it.
that why he does the standing on one leg thing?
What do you mean?
He plays and he'll like stand on one leg while he's
Yeah,
playing.
what do you mean?
Like he does tree pose.
Is that why he does it?
Yeah, because he's not classically trained.
Oh, okay, yeah, because he needs to. He just thought that was what people did. No one told him not to.
Yeah.
Maybe I think it's maybe a reference to like a mythological figure.
Okay, like Pan or
Yeah,
something.
something like that.
All right. I'll buy it. Yeah. What do we compare a flute solo to? We can't.
A guitar solo that happens
I
immediately
guess
afterwards.
that comes up next. Yeah.
Which kind of, I mean, now we get that like more conventional hard rock guitar sound.
This is what won them the Grammy,
This
dude.
one the Grammy, but yeah, honestly, it's like kind of similar to the flute solo. Like they do somewhat similar things, a little bit in that.
Yeah,
Do they?
kind
Now
of.
I'm like thinking about that statement again, and I'm not sure if I believe it anymore.
I think the flute does more fucking around, like a lot more like hammer-ons essentially.
Yeah,
The guitar does a bit of that, but I would say to a lesser degree.
yeah. The guitar solo itself fairly straightforward, solid,
Mm-hmm.
but like not that memorable, especially next to the flute solo. Maybe that's just it. It kind of gets overshadowed.
Yeah. I forgot it was even there until this week. I was like, oh, I guess there is a guitar solo here.
Just go on for a little bit longer, but not that much. And then into another verse, which is just verse 2 again, and then another chorus, which is the first chorus again.
Yeah. Yeah, next big thing is like the outro, which we hit about 340.
Yeah, I do think the outro is pretty neat. It's like we do a big rock finish, but like more like measured, like we've planned it
Yeah.
out.
And with flute.
And with flute, yes.
So yeah, he like belts at 340. He's like, cross-eyed Mary, and then the fucking flute comes in.
Yeah, and then like the guitar responds back, and then the piano goes
And
do
then
do do do, and it has
yeah.
that like really twinkly like walk down, like long walk down, which is very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost jazz in the nature that every instrument gets its lead part, even the drums there.
Right.
And then we do the full-on, like, big band finish.
Yes. Then you do more, of just the like general everyone's doing sounds kind of thing.
Yeah, and then one big final note.
Yeah. So man, it's a good song. It's a longer one. I guess over 4 minutes isn't that long, but like a little bit.
It's longer than I mean, the entertainer rule, dude,
True.
wouldn't make
Entertainer rule. But yeah, it does feel. I mean, maybe it's just among songs I listen to, and there are definitely like genres of rock and roll that really try to get like gritty and gross. But Jethro Tull feels very unique to me. Like their thing is very different from what other groups accomplished, I think.
Yeah. Well, I would think, and to compare them to David Bowie, since we're doing that.
We're doing that.
David Bowie, who is an artist first and a commercial artist second.
Right.
I would be willing to believe the same of Jethro Tull and Ian Anderson.
Yeah.
Because I think at first in mind he had is like, how do I convey the experience of homeless and prostitutes in Britain? And then it was like, and also if we could sell it, that would be good as well.
Yeah. That would be nice because then we can eat and such.
So then like when you come from that approach, I believe that the grittiness you get, if grittiness comes through, is more authentic than say like a hair metal band. Right.
Yes. I do tend to agree.
So it's, yeah, I think that what you're getting there is the real deal, the straight from the twisted mind of Ian
Twisted
Anderson.
mind of Ian Anderson. Famous writer of A Christmas Song. And another Christmas song.
Of several Christmas songs of what I would argue are high quality.
Yeah.
Has my wife asked me to take some Jethro Tull off of our Christmas playlist? Sure.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen? Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's the kind of request you just get. That's just normal for people who listen to Jethro Tull. It's not for everyone.
No.
But yeah, I just think this song really effectively creates this like kind of grit and like grossness. Like paints a good picture and has a really effective feeling of that.
Yeah, and then there is something like the flute brings in some sort of fantastical nature to it. Like there is a magic to it of some kind.
And
that the magic is gross is like even better.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
Like, oh, I want to throw up. This is great. It's just impressive that Jethro Tull was able to incorporate the flute so effectively. Whereas other groups just like didn't even try for the most part. There's like a few instances of it working, but like it's hard to do.
And to not be a novelty act. Like we've done so many cover artists who are like, I'm Ukulele Dave.
Right.
Like, I'm Steel Drum Sally. And this is what I fucking do. It's like, okay.
And like,
but he's just like, rock and roll can be a flute.
Yeah. And it was more or less meant as a novelty, but at the same time, they did it effectively. So
yeah.
Way to go.
Way to go. Now a band that's not so much a novelty, but is one of the biggest names in heavy metal. The only cover. We're going to talk about them after this short break. Perfect. We're back talking a single cover of Cross-Eyed Mary in the year 1983. I already referenced it in the intro. It's Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
Cross-eyed Mary goes jumping in again. She signs no contracts, but she always plays it clean. She doesn't hate the village and expects a kind of crew.
A huge band that I don't know that much about or musically.
I know the hits. I've seen them live. They're a great show.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in like 2011, man.
2011. Yeah, okay. I do remember that. I think I remember the t-shirt at least.
I got the. I might still have that. No, I don't think I do. I did get a t-shirt from the show though. I was in a box in the Saddle Dome with a whole bunch of people that I no longer talk to. So
okay. Did you go with like Jason?
No, it was Jason's birthday, and I actually skipped his birthday to go and see.
That's interesting.
Yeah, isn't that?
I'm sure he understood though.
He did.
Knowing
I was like,
Jason, he'd be like, I would have done that too.
He's like, yeah, you got to go do that. Shout out to Jason wherever you are.
Yeah.
He was a big metalhead. But yeah, Iron Maiden, classic heavy metal band.
Yeah.
Probably more considered hard rock these days due to how heavy metal has got.
Right, but like certainly, I mean, they were I said formed in 1975, so like post um Black Sabbath, but like I do kind of think of them similar just because they're both pretty early on.
Hmm.
Like heavy metal was forming its identity at this time, and they're
Yeah, so
part of
it's like
that.
harder instruments, a vocalist who's a bit harsh,
Yeah.
but it's like comparing a Model T to like a modern day car. It's just like, they're both technically automobiles, sure. We've made a lot of changes since then.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course they cite Jethro Tull as an influence, which Ian Anderson has a quote here. He says, "There are a lot of folks in the world of heavy metal and hard rock whose influences include Jethro Tull, but I think we have to put it in perspective that young Bruce Dickinson or other members of Iron Maiden growing up and as children hearing Jethro Tull, it made some impact on them, and it made them consider that music amongst many other influences in terms of what it could do for them. But we've always got to remember that whenever somebody says, I grew up listening to your music, just because they happen to be very successful in their own right as musicians today, it's a mistake to think you're their prime influence. What they're doing is tipping their hat and citing you, but probably amongst 50 other influences that were important to them in their learning process."
Yeah,
So
fair
very
enough.
humble approach.
He's
Fair
like,
enough.
yeah, we're not, but they are though. It's like fair
Yeah.
enough, and like, yeah, I'm sure they had a million other influences because that's just usually how things go. They're not a Jethro
Yeah.
Tull cover band,
And that's like the Ian Anderson, like measured, humble
Right.
approach to talking, where he's just like, well, yeah, we won the award, sure. And like, oh yeah, Iron Maiden likes us. Awesome. They probably like a bunch of other dudes too.
Yeah. Like that's cool. And yeah, I mean, obviously enough to cover Cross-Eyed Mary, and it's fitting because I mean, there is like an ugliness, like a grit to a lot of heavy metal.
Yes.
So and like the sort of topics they would cover, it's fitting, I believe.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, even like even being adjacent to religion, like this song doesn't really hit it, but like
Right.
religion's a big heavy metal topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, like thematically, there's a lot of crossover. Of course, being like the song being weirdly bluesy is like a crossover to heavy metal.
Right.
And even the vocal stylings of Bruce Dickinson versus Aqualung era Ian Anderson, I feel like there is some crossover.
Oh, how so?
Just the harshness, just quite rough and very like. Dickinson on this really strains himself. There's a
He
quote
does.
from Ian Anderson from 2022. He calls this song a spirited rendition by a young Bruce testing out his vocal range in a key not really suited to him.
Yeah, he does seem to push a little too high and like not quite make it sometimes.
There's at least one section he doesn't quite make
Yeah.
it, but I will say that like a quality of his voice, even on songs where he's in his pocket, is to sound like he's straining to a certain degree.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it kind of smooths it over, but you can hear that he's like just a foot in the deep water here.
Right. One more quick fun fact that I read off the Wikipedia page to tie this in a little bit with David Bowie. Apparently, the Iron Maiden font they use it was taken from a poster for The Man Who Felt Earth.
Oh,
Yeah. Or at least,
right on.
yeah, that's fun. I don't know
Iron
if
Man, I'll throw.
I don't know if it's they always use the same. Yeah, the one they use for their name, I think.
Sweet. Yeah, that's a classic font too. So
Yeah.
good on them for stealing it.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything we're pro on this podcast, it's stealing fonts.
Stealing fonts, yes, please do it more.
Do more of it. Did it for our original.
Oh, that's right.
artwork.
Yeah.
Not for. I think Will just did some manipulation for our current.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Shout out to Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, one last quote from Iron Maiden. So not just Dickinson, who's a fan, but Steve Harris, the bass player, who calls Aqualung, quote, a classic album with fantastic playing, fantastic songs, attitude, and vibe.
It's got all those things for sure.
It's got all those things. So what does this cover version sound like? Imagine Cross-Eyed Mary.
Yep.
But heavy metal.
I will. I can, because I can hear it.
They do the intro, minus the Mary shout at the start.
Right.
And of course, a guitar doing the flute, and the drums doing a real high energy.
They do. The drums.
Like soft roll.
Yeah, on the like soft roll on like those 16th notes on the cymbals. And the bass is going pretty fast too.
Oh yeah, you can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like ghost note playing, where it's like it's not really ringing out.
Yeah.
It's like he's pulling it, but like also muting it so that you don't really get any. intonation. You get just the attack.
Yeah, it's not much at all. But and it almost seems sometimes like it's kind of bumping into itself in some ways. Yeah. But pretty cool. And then but I mean it's the same like sound as the flute intro. Same like melody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then of course break into that second part, which really gets them a chance to do that. Like that really feels like where the rhythm section really locks in once it gets to like bum bottom bottom, and like you can kind of get that like guitar chug.
Yeah,
on that part.
Thank God, a heavy metal chug.
Yeah, perfect opportunity. Although the other guitar still like is doing the trilling like the flute, so pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great. Like they've locked in on the intro
Yeah.
and managed to make it sound pretty close to the original while still sounding heavy metal and full high energy.
And they even
it's a good translation.
do like a version of the piano outro into the verse, but it's on the bass. So pretty cool.
So yeah, solid 1 minute intro.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get Bruce Dickinson on your vocals here.
Yeah, which of course, I mean, his actual like sound I do think is quite different. Obviously there's a grit to it, but he's got that like really like high soaring thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very like it's this very trebly, almost like screeching tone to him.
Yeah.
Which I think does disguise a bit when he's out of his vocal range, because you're like, well, that's kind of just his thing.
Yeah, right. It's kind of what he does. And yeah, he does it. He does it here. He soars. Otherwise, like it's pretty similar, you know, it's more like of the established hard rock heavy metal sound than like the original, which has that organ, which really gives it like a different kind of grit. But you know, it's chugging along.
Yeah, like it's like you said, kind of the classic setup. We lose a bit of that, like, oh, this is very strange rock and roll, because we don't have like the twisted organ on this. We don't have the flute. But we do have very classic heavy metal artists playing very classically some heavy metal. So it is like technically sound if it's not, you know, out of this world.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's definitely very, very solid. And then moving back into the chorus, or moving into the chorus rather,
yes,
you start to get that like it's got this like really heavy percussive feel, and they kind of do a similar like backbeat thing to the original. And then just this like really heavy cymbal that it plays a lot of, which I mean kind of is a replacement for the like cowbell sound on the original.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the riff they play is more or less the same. Get that guitar riff going.
Yeah, and it's just like the instinct is like they hear what sounds like a blues riff on the chorus, and they're like, well, we metal it up.
Right.
And yeah, so it's what it sounds like.
So they do, and they can.
And then when he gets to Jackknife Barber, this is where we start to lose our vocal range. We start to push outside of our bounds.
Yeah, that's where you start to hear it. And like you said, it's like kind of disguised, but if you're really listening for it, you can tell he doesn't quite get there. And he tries to really scream it.
What else? And like we've said, structurally very similar. So verse 2, boom, you got the bass fills.
Yeah, fill in that space. And then, I mean, then even after that, like it moves into a chorus. I'm like, yeah, this sounds the same to me. Excuse me. And then, of course, they have, you know, their metal guitar solo where they just combine kind of both solos into one, though it's still not very long. It's not like, yeah,
it's looking to be about 15 seconds here, not even 13.
Give or take. It feels like a fairly straightforward guitar solo, which of course the original kind of was anyway.
Yeah. And again, like they did such a good job doing the flute on the intro here, like translating it to the hammer-ons, and it sounds awesome, and it still sounds pretty crazy. It's like, how do you do the flute solo though?
Yeah.
How do you go woo on a
guitar? Do you just play the guitar and also say woo?
Also say
I don't
woo?
think
Yeah,
it would have the same effect.
Less effective.
You gotta do some like weird Tom Morello stuff to get that going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, it's very straightforward from this point. I noted the bass on the outro sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, you get some like nice. Yeah, I said a lot of bass. I said a lot of nice high notes
Yeah.
and a lot of bass, and then they do like a big rock outro kind of thing.
Yeah. And Bruce Dickinson pushing his vocals one last time on that Mary
Yes.
around like 325.
Oh, yeah. He's that one. He seems to be more successful at getting like high up for.
Yeah, he's brushing against it.
Yeah, definitely.
Then like 340, he does like one that's fully in his range. Yeah, a lot of drum roll and stuff. You can count on these guys to do a big rock outro. And they do.
They do. Yeah. But I think it's a solid cover. Yeah, it's quite swift. You know,
Yeah.
they speed it up a bit. I do like the bass taking over for the piano. I really like the piano part, and I'm glad someone's doing it. Although on the original, the bass and piano are often doubling each other, and you can just only hear the piano because that's the nature of things.
Yeah, 100%.
But they do good with that. And yeah, I do feel like they've really committed to it. They clearly like the song. They really give it playing it. The substitutions are pretty well thought out. You know, the guitar, particularly on the intro, replacing the flute is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's a really good cover. To me, it is like one step shy of being like a great
Like
cover.
great. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's totally solid and enjoyed it, but like it's not supplanting the original for any particular reason. Unless you're just like really into Iron Maiden over Jethro Tull.
Yeah, it's the only way it works is like as an onboarding ramp for your like heavy metal dudes to discover Jethro Tull.
Right. Which this is kind of. There were some heavy metal people, fans. I you know, from high school, I remember who were like, I don't know Jethro Tull, but oh, Cross-Eyed Mary, yeah, like the Iron Maiden,
which
song.
is so crazy.
Yeah. Or don't know much about Jethro Tull. They'd be like, oh, Jethro Tull, they're that band I've heard of and only know mostly because of this cover.
This cover and the 1989 Grammys.
Yeah, and the 1989 Grammys upset.
But yeah, solid cover. I mean, folks, you like Iron Maiden, you're going to like this cover probably.
Yeah.
One person online really did not like this cover and suggested that it gave them a brain tumor, which I don't think is true.
That seems like a bit much.
I'm going to go on the record and say this song will not give you a brain
So
tumor.
most likely not give you a brain tumor.
But hey, your results may vary. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. This is not medical
I'm
advice.
just a guy. It's not medical advice, not a medical advice podcast. Just two dudes talking about music. All right, Alex. Best version, weirdest version. No, I'm kidding.
Rank them.
Rank them, dude. That's it then. This is the main segment done.
Yeah. Talk about Jethro Tull again.
Talk about Jethro
One
Tull.
day we'll
We've
actually
done it
talk about
before.
Aqualung, maybe.
Yeah, same day we talk about Piano Man by Billy
Exactly.
Joel. That does it then for today's episode. You know the usual stuff, folks. Follow us on the socials. Just follow us like I haven't posted it. I've had a Blue Sky account for 4 years. I've only ever replied to people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
You can
more than
follow
I
me.
do on social media. I usually make an account and like look at stuff. I'm a lurker.
You're a lurker. You got big lurker energy.
Yeah. I watch through the railings, you know?
Yeah, big Aqualung, this
Yeah.
guy. Folks, follow us on the socials anyway. Talk to us there so I can reply to you and Alex can lurk. We need things to reply and lurk to, so you got to supply that.
Yeah.
At Snaky Me, at some Alex Wise Guy, hashtag Cover Me Pod. We'll get that fucking hashtag going one of these days.
One day.
It's going to take off any day.
Any day now.
Any day now. Be sure to rate and review us. We're on all the apps. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're on Apple. We're on YouTube. Sometimes we get comments on YouTube.
Oh, I forget to look at those. We got a positive one time. I really appreciated it.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And sometimes they just tell us facts about the bands. They'll be like, actually, the Monkees were good friends with the Beatles. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know if they're mad at us when they tell us those facts or if they're just sharing.
I know.
If it's the second, like right
I know.
on.
I get it. Like, I appreciate that. I do. And I feel like I should engage with it, but
Yeah, but what are you saying? So like, cool. It's
cool,
because
man.
they're responding to something I said like 6 months ago. Like, I don't remember it. And then like,
true. I think what I've seen other channels do is they'll just like heart the post, and then like if you're going through the comments, you can see like, oh, like channel replied to this. you know?
Uh,
And then it's just, I guess it's just like general engagement.
General engagement.
I don't know, man.
That's that simple,
It's that
folks.
simple.
Comment and we'll generally engage
And
with
we
you.
will heart it. We'll
We'll
thumbs
heart
up.
it. Give it the old thumb-a-rooney.
hmm
So we're on the apps, folks. We're on every single app. I've already told you that. Be sure to tell your friends, family, neighbors, and loved ones about us. What you can do this week to really get the word out there is hang out at your local playground. And then when somebody's like, "Hey, is one of these your kid?" You'd be like, "Nah, I just want people to listen to cover me." And that's the marketing technique.
Yeah. Get us out there.
You get us out there, get us to the streets, let the people know. That does it for today's episode of Cover Me. And as we always say on Cover Me, laughing in the playground gets no kicks from little boys. Would rather make it with a Cover Me.